Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekamak. This is something a little bit different. Lobotomy Corporation is a game that I've played a bit too much of, but there's a few challenges that I've never gotten past, such as the end of the game. Today I'm going to tackle one of those for the first time ever. The first thing that I've done off screen, I've gathered 3 specific abnormalities: Punishing Bird, Judgment Bird, and Big Bird. Then, before we started the recording, I went and annoyed Big Bird a lot with repression work. He's now sitting at 1 on his counter. If so much as 5 people die, then he's coming out. Next, we use repression work to really annoy Judgment Bird. I've actually got a really strong suit against hail damage, which is important because he deals a lot of it. Both in his cell, if you happen to annoy him, like we just did, or when he leaves it. He's gonna start killing people. An important step of this is to recognize where in your facility are major problem areas and have some strong solo agents on standby to deal with it. Unfortunately, one of those danger areas is where we kept Judgment Bird, so I'm having my agents that are going to be keeping this area in check walk the long way around back to outside his cell. His cell isn't going to be a problem anymore because he's not in it, but his neighbor is Yin, and we really don't want Yin getting out during what's coming up. So, clerks. Clerks are not very good. They have really weak equipment, and as you can see, hail damage is an insta-kill. Sort of. What it actually is percentage damage based on your maximum HP, so it doesn't matter whether you've got 10 HP or 100 HP, a 100 power hail attack is still going to strike you down where you stand, so it's important to have equipment that isn't weak to hail. Unfortunately for the clerks, their equipment level is Zayn, so it's taking the second highest possible amount of damage, but it also has ×2 weakness to hail, so he deals about 90 damage to a clerk at the bare minimum. It's much more likely to be higher than that. And whenever he kills someone via hail damage, it actually hangs them in place. It's quite unpleasant. And that was 5 clerks. Once upon a time, 3 heavy birds lived in a warm and lush forest. Punishing Bird has broken out. Big Bird has gotten out. We have a portal. If we really wanted to avoid the upcoming problem, then we could have everyone dogpile it. The problem is, it's extremely resistant to damage, and every time a bird reaches it, it heals to full HP. Big Bird usually isn't the first to make it to this door, because he's slow and he just has to stop and kill clerks. Big Bird, with his many eyes, decided to watch over the forest for intruders. The Big Bird's eyes could see very far and see things we could not. Small Bird decided to punish the creature's wrongdoings with its beak. Anyhow, I didn't want my people to run into Judgment Bird, so I moved the death ball just a slight bit over to the left. Very important that I have this large group here, equipped with only white weapons. For reasons we're about to see in a very short moment. To keep the forest's peace, Longbird weighed the sins of those who entered the forest. For Longbird's scale was fair and just, and could weigh any and all kinds of sin. But then in the middle of all the chaotic cries, someone shouted, "It's the beast! A big scary monster lives in the black dusky forest!" So, we now have Apocalypse Bird in the facility. It is immune to all damage. We have to break the eggs to finish it off. And unfortunately, the egg that I want to break first, I can't find because he's sitting on it. So, after hearing the ding, I know that he's used a hail damage attack on everyone. I still can't find the egg, so I have to make the hard executive decision to go after Big Eyes instead. Which is probably just as bad. as long as that's in his as long as he has that egg, he's capable of mind controlling our agents and forcing them to his location, which means that they won't be in position for more important things. Of course, that said, each egg is connected to one of the birds and gives him access to that bird's attacks. Big Bird's far-seeing eyes were blinded. So, no more darkness, no more mind control. Unfortunately, he still has long arms, which gives him the pale damage attack on everyone in the facility, but it also sabotages our ability to pause. So, it's definitely next on the list. And then I see that he started generating meltdowns on some very problematic abnormalities. So I have to keep checking to make sure that nothing really dangerous is about to get loose. Yep, he's still throwing those scales about. I hear him teleport. Fortunately, it's not to the egg, so we can continue our assault. That is not a very strong abnormality I just clicked on, but it's still one that I don't want to get messed up because it'll start generating white noise throughout the facility. Not good. Yin in the bottom left corner was about to get upset, so I made sure not to let it do that. Another teleport, but we're able to break long arms. The head that always gazed upon the cosmos was lowered. And now we can pause so we can take stock of the situation. We do have some abnormalities about to breach, but they aren't ones that are going to make the situation far less pleasant. So, I mobilize everyone to the corridor in the central command team so we can start our assault on the final egg. I make sure that nobody's in his room, and then I use Rudolph Tar to check and see if anyone is dead or panicking. Miraculously, no one is. So we're now able to focus on it just to keeping out of his way while we smash that final egg. And as you can see, two abnormalities have breached, but they're both ones that we can kill off easily if they run into our agents. And if they don't run into our agents, we'll just chase them down at the end. Unfortunately, meltdowns are still happening. And there are still problematic abnormalities. I do a double check to see what the best work for Yin is, because I don't like that I got a yellow result. I don't like that I have people hurt here, so I heal them up and send them back into the nothing there room. I can't remember what the best work is. I go for attachment, which it is. I double check with Vera, who is supposed to be in the central command team corridor, but since everyone's going to be there, can't be bothered. We have to send someone back to the radio room. Everyone is mostly in position, so I send them after the egg. Sending the person in that corridor into Yin's room again to keep Yin under control. We really don't want it breaching while we're not ready for it. And now we need to keep an eye on the central command team in case the Apocalypse Bird decides to protect its last egg. And since I can't tell in advance where it's going, I decide to pull back. It's very good that I did, because Apocalypse Bird makes its appearance now. Our agents are pretty high level, so they aren't that worried about it. But even so, we don't want to deal with that thing, because it still has Punishing Bird's attack, and that is a very powerful red attack. We could probably handle it. I'm still not going to risk people's skin for that brag. So, Apocalypse Bird is moving in, out. The safety team is all but destroyed, so is the training team. Disciplinary and Central, weirdly enough, are still intact. I pull everyone back and then see that it's disciplinary, so I send everyone back to work on breaking the egg. Rudoltar is not really making a nuisance of itself, and in that moment, the last clerk in Disciplinary died, so Disciplinary is now mostly shut down. I think I might have been a little careless with my select bar because someone from one of the corridors moves up to the room to help out with Smallbeak. His weapon is black, which is okay. Each egg has elemental immunity, I might have said this already. White is not one of them, but Smallbeak isn't protected against black damage, so he probably could help. I just would rather he stay where he can to help out with the blue star and nothing there over there, because we really don't want either of them escaping. Speaking of which, there goes nothing there. We really need to get at it before it breaches. That's what a ring's for, though. Nothing else critical is in danger, so after a quick scan of the area, I decide, yeah, back to egg smashing. All Apocalypse Bird gets from the Smallbeak egg is a very powerful red attack. And yeah, it's a powerful red attack, but Smallbird's mouth that could devour anything was shut. The bird began to prowl the forest, but there was nothing. There were no creatures, no sun, no moon, no beast. All that was left was just a bird and a black forest. And we conquered Apocalypse Bird! It's a lot nastier if you don't know it off by heart before encountering it. And thankfully, it can only appear once per day, so we don't have to worry about a reappearance if Punishing Bird decides to leave at the same time Big Bird decides to assert clerk of normality rights. I look at whatever formalities are still breaching and send my extremely well-tuned teams to go beat their faces in because we just conquered one of the strongest abnormalities in the game. These guys aren't even close to that level. But I'd say that all that's left to see the rewards for our hard work, that's stuff I can skip ahead for, and actually did. For surviving though, everyone gets an ego gift throughout the Dark Forest. I think I can't quite read it from here, but it gives strong stats, and as you can see, everyone is still alive. So yeah, let's pull back and see what we got for the day. We didn't get any promotions, but we didn't lose anyone to death or panic either. So that, I say, is a very successful run of the Bird of the Black Forest. We even had some rank 4 rookies with us, but they're still fine. Now here's the problem. This is the other super challenging abnormality that I've never faced. And on a run like this, it might actually be worth getting it. I actually sat there thinking about it for a very long time, trying to figure out if I wanted to or not. I eventually said yes to myself, but still, this isn't going to be nice. This is not going to be nice at all. There's a story cutscene, but I skipped that completely. I give the problem abnormality to the disciplinary team because they don't have nearly enough problems compared with welfare. And then I show off all the equipment that I had attached to everyone. So the important thing is that the people off on their own had variable damage weapons, but everyone that was in the team of Break the Eggs, I gave them white damage weapons. Lots of white damage weapons. All white damage weapons. But the most important white damage weapon in that collection was Spore. Spore is a white damage spear that has a rare chance on hit, at about 25%, of increasing the damage that the target takes from white damage. The white damage it takes. So the fact that I have about 3 of them in there, I think I might have more, I can't remember. The fact that I have 3 means that we're very likely to get that damage boost and very likely to clean their clock. Yeah, there's no HE gear around here. Everything is war or better, because we need the pale resistance. And even then, some of them do have a weakness to pale damage, but fortunately it's not enough that they'll die instantly to the Judgment Bird's attack as Apocalypse Bird. As you can see, we have a very well-tuned facility, except for the training team. They're all a bunch of rookies who have lived through the apocalypse, so we can't trash talk them too much. And now here's the other reward. Everyone gets an ego gift, but we also get our hands on the Twilight weapon and the Twilight suit. The Twilight weapon deals all damage types at the same time, very quickly. It's the best DPS in the game, without a doubt. Just absolutely busted. Twilight suit has defenses against everything. It's really strong, but it also gives you it also deals damage to enemies in the same room. And if you have all of the parts of ego, it upgrades its damage aura to deal all damage types instead. Plus it has a shield. This gear is stupid broken, which is good considering the sort of nightmare they have to go through to get it. But either way, until next time guys, take care. I'll see you all around.